Fáilte, sláinte, good evening, Trónánawa, Macarja Galir, Fud na Crinne, good evening, welcome my friends from all around the world. This is Live Irish Bits. Well, it is and it isn't, because it's not a typical episode. The thinking is, in order to celebrate 300 with our planned Zoom celebration tomorrow night, hope you're available, we have to have a 300th episode. So instead of boring you all with rabbit holes and readings, I thought, well, why don't we just come on and make some announcements, one of which is, of course, about the Zoom meeting, which I know you've all been waiting eagerly for because of all the commentary I have seen on social media, including people saying, I never received a link. What is going on? Well, link has been created. For some reason, there's a clatter of people viewing tonight from Texas. All the Texans are in the house. Johnny Wilson is the first of them. And if you are watching, whether it's on YouTube, on the Mythical Ireland YouTube channel, or on the Mythical Ireland Facebook page, please do join in the conversation by commenting. We like, in case you're new to this whole thing, we like to make everybody feel welcome. And we'll talk a little bit about the history of Live Irish Myths in a moment. But the first thing for me to do, and the most important thing, of course, in the live streams, is to welcome everybody. Johnny Wilson is the first to say hello tonight. He's on Facebook and he's watching from Dallas, Texas. Hence, as I said, there's a coterie of Texans in tonight. Second to comment tonight is Elaine Dent-Lingenfelter, who's also in Central Texas, where it's 25 degrees Celsius. Well, that beats our 11 by more than double. So, yeah, nice. You probably think that's nice and cool, Elaine. Yeah, it would be a bit weird for us to have 25 Celsius at this time of year, but I suspect some Irish people would indeed like it. Wayne Bird says, hello, Anthony. Hello, everyone. Hope all's well in the camp and keeping safe. Yes, all good here. Can't speak for everyone else. I'm sure they'll speak for themselves. Pardon me. Slow down, Anthony. There's plenty of time. Lily Shambles is watching on YouTube. Hi, hope all are well. All good on this side, Lily. Hope we can say the same about yourself. Kristen Lang Creative is in Vancouver Island. Wow, where it is the middle of the day. Well, actually, I'm not sure, because I'm not sure about the fallback situation. Our clocks went back last weekend. Had yours gone back previously, or have they yet to go back? I think they went back previously. Am I right in saying it's 2 minutes past midday in Vancouver? Vancouver Island may not be exactly Vancouver. Brendan Byrne is watching, of course, from the beautiful county of Wicklow, not far from Glendalough. Brendan, good evening to you. Helen Hirsch Chader is saying, 300 is here. Congratulations, Anthony. Who'd have thunk it, as we say locally? Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thought all the way back then? But let's talk about that further on. Hurrah, Kia ora, Anthony. All the tour from New Zealand. Aotearoa. Sunny mix with clouds here this Tuesday morning. We have not seen any sunshine in Drogheda since last Tuesday, 6 days ago. It has been eternally cloudy here. It's been mild, and it's only done tiny bits of drizzle here and there, so it's been dry. But it's grey from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. KB Viscom on YouTube is watching from Birmingham. I presume that's Birmingham, UK. A very good evening to you, and welcome to the live stream. There's Clay Webster. Oh, yes. Well, I won't show... there's an envelope here. That's all I'll say. To be dispatched tomorrow. So watch out for that mailbox. Clay, you're very, very welcome. Great to see you. Ali is watching in Tucson. Finally, cool and nice here. Brilliant. A bit of Irishness then. I hope it's not too cloudy. Adina Sparks is saying, afternoon, Anthony and Latua, a cold and rainy day in New Mexico. Only 42 Fahrenheit today. Ooh, that's cold, isn't it? That's 5.5 degrees Celsius. Wow, that is cold. Wow. What's the story there? Richard Burgess is watching us on YouTube from the Catskills in New York. A very good afternoon to you, Richard. Thanks for joining us and indeed for saying hello. Happy 300, yay! Desiree, who's been sending me Facebook messages, and I haven't gotten around to answering the last one or two, for which I apologize. Hello to everyone. Me and Amadeus are happy to tune in. Not sure if you could hear Saskia in the background. She is demanding to be fed, which is underway as we speak. Isabel Shapcott is in Tasmania, Australia. Wow. A very good morning to you, Isabel. Thank you for joining us on what is our 300th episode. Is that PC Films or PK Films? It's PC, isn't it? PC Films on YouTube is saying hello from Kildare. Very good. A very good evening to you. We haven't seen you before, I'm pretty sure. Hello to all the newcomers. You're very welcome to the stream. Guido Bruce is saying good evening all. Hello, Guido. One of the great supporters of the Mythical Ireland Enterprise, one of those people who can boast without hesitation that he has every book that I have written and published. Brilliant stuff. Rex Fortenberry is saying greetings and salutations. Though, can't make it tomorrow night. Got a little election thingy going on. I have to work. Have fun. I'll catch the 400th episode. Well, hopefully you'll be around for all those in between, Rex. And yes, I am aware. Unfortunately, my calendar is very, very packed. Tomorrow is the only night I can have the Zoom. I'm away on Wednesday night. I'm playing music on Thursday night, and I'm in Sligo on Friday night and Saturday and Sunday for the big conference over there. Rex, not to worry. You're here now, and that's important. Sue Prenter is saying, good evening all. Great to be back, Sue. Great to have you back, Sue. We missed you, and I hope you're in good form. Robert M. Brown is saying hello from Drogheda. Just around the corner, actually. Hello, Rob. How are things with you? Thanks for tuning in. And Scott Doherty says, hello all, as planned. It's amazing. We've got people from New Zealand. We've got people from Tasmania. We've got people from Canada. We've got people from the far side of the United States. And we've got someone from the same housing estate as me. It's amazing. Ah, yes. Live Irish Myths, bringing people from around the world together in one place. Hello all, as planned, I'm tuning in from County Clare and have my dram. Yes, Tom King, it's the Whistler Irish Honey. Brilliant stuff. Oh, I can just picture that. Has he got one as well? The Bell Bill, or is it just yourself? No, that 25 Celsius is not cool because of the awful humidity. I'd love your 11. Hey, let's do a trade, you know. You have 11. We only have 9 Celsius, says Lily. Sorry. Clay Webster is under a tornado watch at the moment. So it's warm and wet today in Arlington, Texas. Stay safe. Hope it doesn't come anywhere near you. P.S. How are you feeling after your flu? I'm feeling quite well. Thank you for asking. Is that Saskia fussing or a squeaky chair? Lol? It's Saskia fussing, yes. She's quite a quiet dog until she needs to be fed. And then she lets all and sundry know. Time changed yesterday, says Elaine. Ah, okay. So are we back in normal tandem, as it were? Brian McGiggin is in Tyrone. Good evening also, because you're in Ireland. Good evening to you, Brian, in Northern Ireland. What a pleasure to welcome you to the 300th episode of Live Irish Myths. And don't worry if you haven't seen the other 299 episodes. They are all available to rewatch on the Mythical Ireland YouTube channel. Mariana Dunn is saying, Banati, Dear Tua and Anthony from Alexandria, Virginia, bracing ourselves for tomorrow's election. Good luck with that. That's all I'll say. Saoirse Nick says, Hiya Tua, good evening. Trnonawa Makara Conasata to Lexi Erickson. Hello. One on Mountain. Yeah, I've made it. We have a bit of snow. More snow. Do you hear that, Anne? They've snow over in Colorado. I think you're in Colorado, isn't it? Speaking of Colorado, there's Auntie Joe. Hello, rainy and cold Colorado. We're expecting snow later this week. I want to make a snowman. Kristen Lang Creative is saying they just went back. Yes, it's 12:04 here. Brilliant. Good stuff. Tom King says, hello, Anthony and the mighty too. I hope all in great fettle. A raised dram to one and all. An incredible milestone reached. Many congratulations. Here's to the next 300. I think we'll be old and grey at that stage, Tom. If we're not old and grey with the literal passing of time, we'll be old and grey with my dad humour, my cheesy jokes. Speaking of which, there'll be one in a moment. Teresa Collins says 12 degrees and cloudy on this crescent moon night in Killarney. And wishing an interesting night to Anthony and the Tua Galera. Happy 300, everyone. Thanks, Teresa. What does it mean when you wish somebody an interesting night? Is that like the Chinese blessing / curse? May you live in interesting times. Hopefully we'll have a nice night. Jacqueline Kelly Adams is saying, great to see you and nice to be here with everyone. Brilliant stuff, Jacqueline. What a pleasure, as always, to welcome you. Happy 300th episode. That's stamina, Anthony. Yes. Remember that 100 of those were held between March and August of 2020. And then we went weekly. So they've been, the rate slowed down quite a lot. Couldn't do them daily after that stage. Rosemary Elliott Mercier is saying, yeah, hello. Yeah, 300 Connecticut here. Hello and good afternoon to Connecticut from the east coast of Ireland and the Boyne Valley. I wish I could say sunny, but that would be unusual since it's 8:10 at night in winter. And if the sun was shining at this time, there'd be something definitely wrong. But as I said earlier, haven't seen the sun for 6 days. Mavanway Millward says, good evening all. So we have a Zoom tomorrow. Yes, indeedy. Brace yourselves. Yes, Joe is saying, funny you have snow, Lexi. Nothing at my house, just drizzly rain and not much of it. Barbara Murphy is saying hello from a damp, cool Tucson, Arizona. And when you say cool, what exactly are we talking about in that regard? Catherine Cleary is saying happy 300 from sunny San Diego, California. Good afternoon, Catherine in San Diego. And, of course, all our Californian friends. Emma Green is giving us the old white heart and the old hands together. I don't know. Is that supposed to be prayer or thank you, or is it supposed to be a high five? I never know. Somebody might explain that. Emma, you're very welcome to the stream. Michael Trott says, glad to meet you, Tom King. Thanks for the rugby style haka greeting too. Brilliant. Tom, he's one of a kind. Teresina Fitzpatrick is saying hello from mighty Mayo. And that's saying a lot for a loud woman. Teresina, how are you? Good evening, should I say. I keep thinking you're west of me, so I keep thinking you should be in the afternoon. But of course you're not. You're in Ireland, so it's evening. Expecting our second snow in the Black Hills later this week, says Helen. Wow, not a sign of it here. Not yet, anyway. Meant to say how much I enjoyed the article about the ruts, says Elaine. Very interesting. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Brought to my attention by a gentleman called Domacha. And I went out to have a look, and absolutely fascinating. Got a huge reaction on social media. I'll paste the link in if you want to read that article. And don't forget to watch the video as well. Really interesting stuff. And archaeologists seem to be broadly in agreement that it is a bog covered by the beach. But what age the bog is a good question. And what the nature of the ruts or grooves are is another thing. One for your dad joke book, Mr. A. My pet mouse Elvis died yesterday. He was caught in a trap. Can't walk up. Gonna love you too much, baby. Get everything on Live Irish Myths. You even get Elvis impersonations. I look nothing like him. He wasn't as skinny as me. Sandra Boothroyd is saying, good evening, all you mythical people. Good evening, Sandra. I hope life is treating you well. Leanne Delaney is saying, evening, blessings all from County Down. Hello and welcome, Leanne, all the way from County Down to County Louth. Dronf is in Switzerland. Good evening. Hello, Dronf. We have a good crowd tonight. Definitely. Yeah, some newcomers, some regular regulars, and some irregular regulars, and some regular irregulars, and there's some irregular irregulars. Glad to have caught you, says Teresina. Hope life is treating you well out in the west. Barbara is running around wearing a light down vest in the house. I just turned off the AC when contemplating turning on the heat. Schizophrenic Tucson weather. We don't have those troubles generally. John Inman says, "'Tis a soft day here in Eureka, California. Good company here with you all." Well, thank you, John. And of course, it wouldn't be the same without all of you lovely folks saying hello from around the world. So what have you all been doing? Because we didn't have, am I right in saying we didn't have an episode last week? Yeah, I wanted to hold off. So astronomical Samhain is on Wednesday, the halfway point between autumn or fall equinox, if you're in the States, and winter solstice. We are just on the threshold of entering the darkest 12 weeks of the year. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, Michael Trott and our viewer in Tasmania, whose name I can't immediately remember, but just give me a second. If I can just magically remember that name. Just give me, it's coming to me. I'm sure I can remember it. Apparently not. Thought that person was watching on YouTube, so I was looking for the YouTube comments and I've missed it. So yes, that person in Tasmania, you guys are in the opposite. You're on the threshold of entering the brighter 12 weeks of the year. So between Samhain and winter solstice, it's approximately 6 weeks. A little bit more perhaps, and between winter solstice and Imbolc or Brigid's Day is another 6 weeks there or thereabouts, a little bit more than 6 weeks, I think, when you work it out. So it's a funny thing because Samhain was a fairly major celebration in early Ireland. Certainly, of course, because we're always hampered by the fact that writing was only introduced to Ireland in the 6th century AD, and therefore to sort of work out or to try and figure out or to try to get a glimpse of earlier traditions, we're relying on early medieval accounts with generally no proof, no hard and fast proof that these events and celebrations do go back into prehistory. So we believe that it would have marked the end of the harvest and would have been a significant celebration. Of course, the biggest celebration in that regard really is Lunasa, the beginning of the harvest. And there's lots of evidence that Lunasa continued to be important right down into modern times. Samhain less so. The assemblies were generally, the Énochs were generally tied with Lunasa, but some of them, such as the once every 3 year Feis Chowro on the Hill of Tara, were Samhain assemblies. And indeed at Brúna we have evidence of some evidence in the medieval manuscripts of a Samhain assembly at Brúna. But when is the question? And the answer is who knows, really. You know, certainly we have evidence in the Neolithic of a tremendous, ostentatious, large-scale, impermanent structures and architecture representing what appear to be stadiums. Rowan Grove is saying, greetings from Denver. Hello and good afternoon. So we've a pocket of viewers in Texas. We also have a pocket of viewers in Colorado. Burr Whelan is saying, hi, Anthony. Hi to us. Sneaking in late. That's perfectly okay. The Red Book will not be produced tonight. I promise you that. Janet Moore is saying hello to everyone from balmy Boston. 7 Celsius. We're 4 degrees warmer than you right now at 11. Desiree has loved seeing Rowan Grove's artwork, which is another thing. If you're new and you haven't been here before, don't forget that we have lots of presence online. The website, of course, is most important, the Mythical Ireland website. That's mythicalireland.com. But also we're on social media, so Facebook, almost said a bold word there. In several places, actually. The main page, of course, the Mythical Ireland page on Facebook, but don't forget the Mythical Ireland community on Facebook, and of course Mythical Ireland Creatives, where any of you who are artists or creative people can share your work, so long as it's got some connection with Mythical Ireland and is inspired by Irish myths and legends or folklore or Irish monuments or Irish landscape or, aspects of Irish history and culture. Paddy goes to the doctor complaining of stomach pain. The doctor says, after an examination, I can't find anything wrong with you. It must be the drink. Paddy says, all right then, I'll come back when you're sober. Always a problem when you laugh at your own jokes. But it's not a problem for me. That's my kind of joke. Wishing everyone a wonderful episode 300 and a huge thank you to Anthony for all his wonderful entertainment. Yeah, you go for the dad jokes first and foremost. I'm a bit under the weather this evening, so heading off, but I'll see you all on Zoom tomorrow, all being well. Ikawa. Well, yeah, get some rest, Mavanwe. Hope you're okay. Have a wee nippy sweetie, as Tom King calls them. Have a wee dram. Might help you. A hot one if you want, a hot toddy, as they say they certainly say in Scotland. I'm not sure if that's so much an Irish thing. And please do join us tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Irish time for our Zoom celebration, our Zoom Enoch, let's call it that. Christy Goodlett says, happy 300. Thank you very much, Christy. Wow, who'd have thought we'd ever get here? 300. Wow. Marianne Kinja is saying hi from Connecticut. A very good afternoon to you, Marianne. Thank you for joining us. And so very briefly, just to mention that, there are actually a lot of newcomers on tonight and a few people who haven't been around for a while. So a very, very, very brief recap. Where do we find the Mythical Ireland Creative Group, asks Kristen. It's on Facebook. So if you search for Mythical Ireland Creatives, or I'll actually paste in the link. That's if you're on your phone. If you're on the computer, as we say in Drada, if you're on your computer, I'll send you the link there. That will take you straight to it. Burr Whelan thinks I'm hitting below the bar with that one. I see what you did there. Brilliant. That was a pint-sized joke. How's about we whet your appetite with that joke about booze? Rex, how is the weather in Louisiana? Hot and sticky is how it usually is. Thank you, Kristen. You're very welcome. On Thursday, the history of it, very briefly, is that on Thursday, the 12th of March, 2020, the Irish government announced immediate lockdowns as we in Ireland and many parts of the world faced into the looming coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic. It was a time of great uncertainty, great fear, worry, anxiety, not knowing what tomorrow was going to bring, not knowing if any of us were still going to be in a job in a week's time or a month's time. So I immediately, that day that the government made the announcements, I put on the camera and sat on Facebook. I don't think I live streamed on both Facebook and YouTube for the first few episodes, and sat reading and talking about myth. And it was kind of a spontaneous thing, and a big part of it was partly selfish, if you like. I found it a way for me to deal with the trauma of what we were dealing with and to distract myself from all the news for months afterwards. Every day was just all about rising numbers and the number of infections and the number of people who died. And, it was really a terrible time. But, of course, out of bad situations, good things happen. Live streamed every day for Anthony's in great spirits. I see what you did there, Tom. So are you with all that whiskey. I'm joking. I live streamed every day for 103 episodes until early August, when I'll be honest, as well as the fact that we had been coming in and out of lockdowns, and the lockdowns had been easing in terms of where you could go and how far you could travel. I literally couldn't do it anymore. I was one of the lucky ones. I was still working full time, entirely from home, which was great. Got to spend more time with my lovely wife and children, and the dogs, of course. And I just got tired. I just couldn't see myself keeping it up every day of the week, preparing for it and thinking about what the next episode was going to be. So we made it weekly then, although occasionally we've had 2 or 3 episodes in a week. By and large, it's been weekly ever since. And here we are, 300 episodes. Amazing. I really didn't think it would continue after 2020, but kept going. People kept watching. People kept reacting. Some episodes were bigger than others in terms of the viewership and the response. That's perfectly okay. And around that whole experience grew this lovely, for want of a better word, family of people from various parts of the world. We all feel like we know each other personally. Tried to curate a safe space and a space in which people were made to feel welcome. We had a few crazies drop in from time to time. We had a few people who were friends who left for various reasons. And look, that's just the way it goes, I suppose, with human nature. By and large, though, it's been immensely enjoyable. It's been fabulous. So that's what we've been doing since March of 2020. It's now November 2024. I can't believe we're sitting here. We're still streaming. And we're celebrating number 300. Now, I had to have an episode before our gathering. So we're having an Enoch, which is an Irish word, Oenach. Christy Goodland says, a few crazies. It's Mythical Ireland. Okay, I was including myself in that, by the way, just to clarify. So I'm just sharing that word, Enoch. We're going to have an Enoch on Zoom. Now, folks, I want to say this at the outset. I don't want the Zoom call to become, an all about Anthony thing. I actually want to hear about you, and I'd like to hear some of your stories. I want to really hear actually how Live Irish Myths has affected you, whether that be in a good way or a bad way. I would largely think it's going to be good. And just to share some of the experiences you've had, the people you've met. I know that, for instance, recently we had a group of ladies in Colorado, in that area, who all hooked up in real life. I have personally met lots and lots of what we call the Mythflix Tua. So sometime in 2020, the nickname Mythflix was coined. It sounds like Netflix, but it's Live Irish Myths, so it's Mythflix. And the Tua, of course, is an Irish word, which means a sort of an extended family unit, as it were, a tribe, a people. And I've personally met lots and lots and lots of those. The very first person to comment tonight, Johnny Wilson, I met 3 times in August of this year, a few months ago. And I've met many, many of you. And those of you I haven't met, I know that lots of you have said, look, when I come to Ireland, would really love to organise that. Some of you, for various reasons, work or budget or whatever, can't come to Ireland. But I always say, where there's a will, there's a way. And, don't rule out the possibility that I'll go that way. I've had lots of invitations to go to the States. I would just have to make it financially viable, as it were, as in not costing me a fortune to go there. So it's somebody's birthday. Steve Martinson is 67 today. Happy birthday, young man. Steve, I hope you're in good form. Happy birthday from me and from all of the Tua to you. And thank you for joining us on the many, many occasions that you have done so over the past 4.5 years or so. Don't forget, the instigator of the Colorado 6 actually lives in Arizona. There you go. Barbara, thank you for clarifying that. Just to point out, I'm not all that good with my US geography. I've only ever been to the East Coast. So forgive me if, hope I haven't mixed things up. Teresina, you're a credit to yourself and your passion for journalism. Thanks for everything. Thanks, Teresina. But it's the sharing of that and the two-way traffic, as it were, that makes it all worthwhile for me, really and truly. I never felt like I was speaking into a vacuum. It was brilliant. And the crack does be 90, as they say. We've had lots and lots of fun. So many fun. I wish somebody would take the time. It would be an enormous thing to do, but I wish somebody would take the time to go through all the videos. You can download videos from YouTube, and you have my permission to do so. You have my permission to download the episodes of Live Irish Myths, but somebody has to be able to cut and paste all of the really funny things that happened, and the stupid expressions, and the moments when I've said something and my tongue has tripped over itself, or when I've told a stupid joke and had this empty face on me and all of that. Peter Kennedy, hello. Peter is in Balbriggan, one of our regular viewers, of course, only down the road. Chungus Khan is sorry. Okay, what are you sorry for? Janet Moore says, you certainly saved me. Yeah, imagine, best thing that came out of the pandemic was MI Community. Something bottle of wine was had. Many a bottle of wine was had. Yes, we did enjoy some drams too, We're so glad you didn't. We didn't have much to do ourselves during that time. It was a really strange thing. Silent Pilgrim is in Germany. Good evening to you, Silent Pilgrim. It was a really strange thing to be locked into your house. Now, as I said, I was very fortunate because I was working, and that was able to keep my mind off things. I can't imagine if I'd been unemployed at the time. I really would have had to throw myself at writing a book or something. But anyway, look, it helped me as much as it helped you. Just put it that way. It was very important for me. So there is definitely a selfish aspect to it, For being a phrasey that fell off the map, don't worry. Hey, you weren't crazy enough to get thrown out. And several people got thrown out for things they said or did. Do you remember the spammers? We had spammers, I think that especially the first year, for some reason on YouTube in particular, YouTube was susceptible to people pasting links to dirty websites. Down with this sort of thing, excuse me. There you go. Guido is also enjoying a dram. Brilliant. And if nothing else, Live Irish Myths led to a whole generation of people being introduced to whiskey. I say that lightheartedly, and I know, especially in Ireland here, there's a lot of people who have a problem with alcohol. So I don't want to make light of that either. And I certainly don't want to stereotype the Irish as if we're all heavy drinkers, because we're not. Some of us have to work 7 days a week, so we don't really get a chance to drink much, Rebecca Lynn says, I just love this community. Well, there you go. Brilliant. The evolution of your bookcases. Yeah, have a look at the early episodes and have a look at, everything changed. What month was it? Was that August? I think that was July or August 2020 when the new library was fitted. Believe it or not, every shelf is full and there's piles of books on the floor in the living room. Did they keep their clothes on? Just as the // I can't say because I didn't click the links. But Rowan Grove is... Oh, Tullamore Dew. Come here, listen. I'm going to have... Tomorrow night. I'm going to have a dram with you tomorrow night. Believe it or not. No, really. Don't worry. It's the same time here in Mexico with tequila and mezcal. Says, is that Rocio Mariana Lopez? Hello there. And very good afternoon to you. And thank you for joining us. Yes, speaking of which, another dad joke coming. Prepare yourselves or switch off for a moment. Yesterday, I went to an evening class that combined literature and alcohol. Yes, we read Tequila Mockingbird. Yes. Lynn Murphy is saying to us, not to me, yes. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's wine o'clock somewhere, as we say here. I'm glad that you have a sense of humor about it. I mean, I am, but I respect what you do and would never jeopardize my ability to congratulate and thank you for your work. Can't do that if I get myself banned. There weren't that many people got banned, in fairness. I mean, I'd like to say I'm a reasonably fair and patient and calm individual, but sometimes people just say things that and upset people and annoy people and break rules. And as I always said, not always, but I said regularly throughout the episodes, when you're invited into someone's house, it's polite not to wreck the furniture or piss on the couch. Anyway, the other announcement. Now, I've been holding off on this, and it's not a big one, so don't get all excited. It's not a massive, big thing. It's not like, it's not like I got a new job, or I'm moving abroad, or, what else? What else could it be? I've made another massive discovery. Nothing like that. But just to say that last week, I took possession of these. Yes. It is the 2025 Mythical Ireland calendar. The reason I haven't had any big announcements on social media is quite simple. Myself and Anne, especially her, she's shouldered a huge amount of the work. We have been busy fulfilling all the pre-orders. So I didn't want an avalanche of fresh orders while we were fulfilling the pre-orders. But they're here now. We have box loads of them. The 2025 Mythical Ireland calendar can be ordered now for pretty much immediate dispatch. In other words, if you order on the website, we generally try to get orders dispatched within 24 hours of ordering. Now, sometimes for various reasons that doesn't happen. So, for instance, next weekend I'm in Sligo at the big conference there. So I'm going to be away for about 2 to 3 days. I will, of course, that's the Sligo Field Club Archaeology and Mythology Conference. And you can book your tickets on Eventbrite. I'm going to share that too, actually, just in case anyone's interested in attending that. If you're in Ireland, especially, SligoFieldClub.ie is just in case that Eventbrite. It's a Facebook's a delete curse word. Sorry. Facebook is a... Why they can't just allow you to copy a link? They have to turn it into a long Facebook link? No. So there you go. I'll send you the link. I'm speaking at it along with several others. I'm really looking forward to that. That should be a very enjoyable and interesting event. Certainly when I'm not talking, when I'm not speaking, it will be very interesting. Adina, looking forward to my calendar. Brilliant stuff, Adina. I'm immediately sorry in saying, did you order and did we send it? Because I may not know immediately. Possibly yes is the answer there. Sue Prenter says, my copies arrived the other day. Thank you so much. Brilliant stuff. I will show you what you have to look forward to. That's annoying me now that I don't know whether Adina ordered hers or not. Not sure is the immediate answer. Anyway, that doesn't matter. And it's not for us to broadcast that. We have a bit of poaching from Crowley Distillery in Donegal. We also have some from another source, and that's all I'll say about that. Slodge. Another source. I wonder. Yes. And on a totally unrelated item, I once stayed on an island in Cork in a house that had, at the end of a garden, its own shebeen. Totally unrelated. So now I will order calendars and a book or two. Brilliant stuff, Rowan. Thank you. So I think I shared the link to the calendar already, but just in case I didn't. Anyway, there you go. On reaching 300, how many online followers now, Anthony? Actually, I don't know. I haven't updated that in a while. At last count, including Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, the email list, and Patreon, it was 175,000. It's possibly somewhere closer to 180,000 now. And now, says Silent Pilgrim, I have to explain to my wife why I have to travel to Sligo. Look, I mean, I am not to blame for any of that. I am not taking any responsibility. Except to say, I'm the one who's telling you about it. Be there or be square. And Scott Doherty says, I love the rabbit holes. It means I'm in a community of curious people that love learning. Rabbit holes, that's another one. So much so that somebody, was it Rowan or was it somebody who's artistically inclined was thinking about branding and logo and a company name or a business name with rabbit hole in it. Rowan, you're very welcome. I was very glad to give you that presentation on Fornox. I'm really glad that you enjoyed it, and your audience was very lovely and attentive and very friendly, and it was great to see the deer walking through the woods. Lynn Murphy says, "You make me smile, Mr. Murphy." I try. Yes, indeed. Rossio is saying, I'm telling my boyfriend that I'm traveling to Ireland next year, and he's invited if he wants to come with me. In other words, I'm going whether you like it or not. If you want to come, that's brilliant. But I'm going anyway. Christy is saying, Silent Pilgrim, I've been trying to do similar. Been telling hubby for 2 years, not 20, we need to go to Ireland. You need to come to Ireland, definitely. The Warren says, Heather Marie, yeah, I like that. I can't get you on Facebook. Yeah, I don't know. If you got the same version of Facebook as I have, because you should be able to. And that was the sweetest face ever. I didn't see Coda. Kieran Burns is saying hello from Birmingham. A very good evening to you, Kieran. Thank you for joining us. So, anyway, the calendar. Yes. So you might remember the first couple of years, the calendar was the full A3 size. And you hung it on the wall like that. And then we decided, it's much easier for packaging, and it'll probably arrive safer. Some of the calendars in the first couple of years especially arrived, especially to the States for some reason, not saying anything, but it seems that some of the male men or male persons, male women in the States were not as careful with the posts they were delivering as in other countries. There was a high proportion of calendars that arrived very bent and creased. But anyway, hopefully yours will arrive. We're doing our best. Any envelope that goes outside of Ireland is reinforced with parcel tape as much as possible. They got card backings on them anyway. It's kind of making it hard. But then I believe in some jurisdictions, postmen or male persons see it as a challenge. When it says please do not bend or fragile or be careful, they see it as a challenge rather than an admonition or a warning. Maria Schmidt, ecstatic we're friends again. Hello Maria, welcome to the 300th episode of Live Irish Myths. It's great to see you. So yes, now the bonus is there's actually, you would think, cover photo plus 12 photos, one for each month of the year. There's 13 photos in this calendar. There's actually 14. There's a bonus one. Because if you go... so there's a hole punched all the way through all the pages. So you lift open the cover and you hang it on a nail or a screw on the wall like that, you see. But the first spread, as it were, well, inside the cover is just details about Mythical Ireland and how to follow us, and a very important one, become a patron. You wouldn't believe how important that is. I'd have to go back working full time if it wasn't for that. That's keeping my head above water, quite literally. So if there's anything you think you would like to contribute, that's a big deal. That one that's scrolling down the bottom of the screen. But don't join at the free level because it'll be of no benefit to you. Join at the Stone Age level or above. It'll cost you $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever you can spare. Higher than that if you want. Anyway, this is an image I took last January, the 1 week of last winter. 1 week, and it only lasted 4 days. So when I say 1 week, it wasn't even 7 days when we had ice and a bit of snow and frost. I remember winters where we had spells and spells of them. Now, if we get one, we're doing well. So I spent that week in the car traveling around with my drone and my camera capturing images. That's Drumsowry Ring Fort, which is located close to the foothills of Slieve-na-Collia. There's Kieran T at Lochcrew in the background. Very dramatic shot. And some of the local people, I'm glad to say, in that area ordered limited edition prints of that photograph. By the way, I should add, if you want large-scale limited edition prints of any of my photographs, please get in touch. A lot of them are available on the website. Each one is limited to a run of 100 copies. But the top selections are at the link I'm just about to send. The top 20 or 21 or 22 images. But there are a lot more. So if you use the search feature on Mythical Ireland, say you want an image of Newgrange, or Fornox or Tara, you can just search for them and you should see lots of results coming up. Our mail in Colorado, the Highlands branch office, it's all bungled when it gets here. We did add some card into yours, Lynn. We were having that conversation the other day, or Lexi, not Lynn. Lynn is the comment above that. My family are enjoying the current calendar so much they even remember to change the months. Brilliant stuff, yes. And November's image is that frosty covered mill mount here in Drogheda, the tower that sits upon an ancient burial mound. Fascinating stuff. Deborah Gilbert, thank you very much. Best money spent all month. Got lots of extras for being a patron. February was sunrise at the Hill of Tara. On Furra, the royal seat, and Chalk Cormac, and of course Rotnaree, the huge enclosure, and Doan O'Neill, Mound of the Hostages. And just here you can just see the remnants of the mostly destroyed Sheer Doan Mo, the western mound of the cow at Tara. Then in March, of course, there's a kind of an equinox link here, spring equinox, because that's the Hill of Slane, and you can see that dramatic fog which had enveloped the entire Boyne Valley. The only place that was sticking up out of it was the Hill of Slane. Everywhere else was enveloped in fog, so I put the drone up and captured this image. It was on the Hill of Slane, of course, that Patrick was said to have lit the Paschal fire in March of 432 AD. But don't forget that Cairn T at Lough Crew, with its equinox alignment, points to the Hill of Slane, which is where the sun rises on the equinoxes. Recent books have arrived in great shape, says Helen. Love the mill mount shot for November. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, I remember that. It was a really, really cool, frosty, cold day. And I said, you know what? I'll fly up to Millmount and see what it looks like. And yeah, with the drone, obviously. James Brown says, hello. Fáilte, sláinte, and hello right back to you, James. Welcome to Live Irish Myths, episode number 300. April is an image taken in around that time, March or April of this year. And of a monument that I'd taken lots of photographs, especially drone photographs, over the last 7 or 8 years. But at sunset on this day, it seemed to me that there was a blip in the middle that I hadn't seen before, a very slightly raised area. And it showed in a couple of other photographs. And it led me to speculate that there might be a burial mound in the middle of that henge. And you might say, a burial mound in the middle of a henge? There are a couple of others at Brunabonia that have mounds at the centre of them. So it wouldn't be entirely unusual. May's image seems very apt. It's Isle na Mirren, the Stone of Divisions, or the Cat Stone, at Ishnock, lit up with various colours. Under, behind the clouds, a crescent moon. And I think that's the star Capella in Origa. Yes, indeed it is. And of course, May being Bealtaine is the time, and Bealtaine is marked in the calendar. So all your important dates are marked. All your new moons, your full moons, your solstices, equinoxes, cross quarter days, meteor showers, all that stuff. And mention of some eclipses. The reason I don't mention them all is because eclipses are only generally only visible for a portion of the world, as it were. But May is the time when the good people at Ishnock hold the fire festival, the fire of Ishnock, lit since ancient times. Excuse me. I'm going to have to take a wee drink here because I'm talking too much. Is an image taken in June of Sheed and Broga or Newgrange, but particularly at the time when at summer solstice, excuse me, the sun sets almost directly opposite where it rises in winter. Of course, when it's rising in winter, it shines into the chamber of Newgrange by entering through the roof box, the light box, the aperture above the door. But in summer, in the evenings, the sun sets almost directly behind the monument, which is really something to behold. Doesn't stay there for long. That is the turning of the year, folks, something that we've been recording here in Ireland since ancient times. July's image was taken in July, on the 7th of July, to be precise, when I photographed what was at the time referred to as Dronehenge 2, a previously unknown double-ditched large enclosure on the hilltop at Heathtown near Fornox in the county of Meath, which archaeologists have told me is almost certainly a prehistoric ceremonial enclosure, at least 100 meters in diameter. So for those of you in America, that's 300 feet. That's over 300 feet, and possibly as much as 120, which would be almost 400 feet in diameter. So quite a substantial archaeological feature that showed up because although we didn't have a full-on drought this summer, there were long periods in this part of the world where there was no rain. So the crop, which is wheat in this case, got quite scorched. And of course, the roots are digging down deeper to try and access moisture. And where there are previous man-made holes in the ground, the soil composition, the soil density, and the composition, what's it called? Minerals, the trace minerals, it's not mineral composition though. The nutrients. There's more nutrients available. Then in August, so we were very, very blessed this year. We had several, two in particular, really, really, really spectacularly brilliant displays of Aurora Borealis or Northern Lights. And on one of the evenings, I managed to capture this image of the aurora over Douth, the third and forgotten great monument of Brunabonia. Nouth and Newgrange hug all the headlines because they're open as part of the official tour, and the solstice at Newgrange and all the rest. Douth is open to the public, but it doesn't have any tour guides, doesn't have any buses or gift shops or visitor centre or anything like that. It's a little bit forlorn, but I really like it. And I love going there at night to watch the stars. And I lit the curbstones and the tree, the sycamore tree at Douth, with a torch just to highlight them. I think that image was taken in August, actually. Then September is another image of the aurora. There's 3 aurora images in this calendar. And this is from the big display, which is the 10th of May. In fact, the other one that we had last month in October was big. The two of them were spectacular. Not sure if one was definitely better than the other. But on the 10th of May this year, myself and Anne drove out to Newgrange and sat mesmerized looking at the Northern Lights. There was a lot of people there, a big crowd of people, actually. I remember years ago when I used to observe various astronomical phenomena at Newgrange. I'd be the only one there. But of course, with social media now and aurora alerts being shared widely, people want to go somewhere where they might get an epic photograph, which is understandable. But anyway, and that was the same night as I believe that photo was taken. Pretty sure they're both from the same night. And then on to October. Yes, Sheedinbroga, Newgrange under. If you're out at Newgrange, as I have been over the years, often enough, you'll see the most fabulous displays of nature. This was one evening after sunset. Look at the colours in the sky, the reds and the oranges and the golden, and there's even a bit of, purple and even the slightest hint of pinks in places. Really extraordinary. Lovely to be there on one's own. November's photograph I swapped out, if you remember that, a month or so ago. I decided to swap it out just before it went to print. I had a daylight picture of Fornox in it, but then I went up and I did what I had never done. I took a nighttime photograph of Fornox with the stars above it and lit it up with my lights. Fornox, a very, very, very special monument. And of course, if you want to get yourself the one and only book ever published about Fornox, that is the one that was written and published by myself, Mythical Ireland Monograph Series number 3. I'll just paste the link in there that you can go and have a look. I'll catch up with, I see a lot of comments there. I will catch up with those in a moment. And December's image, well, when it comes to December and winter solstice, the midwinter, it seems that, you know, how could you not share an image of the light in the chamber of Newgrange? You know, so that is the 2025 Mythical Ireland calendar. They cost €15 plus postage and packaging. So basically order yours now. And I would advise you strongly, it is the 4th of November. If you're thinking of these as Christmas gifts, which a lot of people do, and it's a very clever and sensible gift for Christmas because it's something that the person can use within 10 days or within 6-7 days of Newgrange. They can hang it, or Newgrange, within 6 or 7 days of Christmas. Mentally there, I didn't even think. I subconsciously connected Christmas and Newgrange. I substituted one for the other. And if you've been inside Newgrange at solstice, as I have been, and witnessed the sunlight coming in there, you'll know why it is that, for me, Christmas is as much about Newgrange as it is about anything else. The midwinter rebirth of the sun. High quality laminated gloss cover. I don't know, I think that's 200 gram paper. Might be 180 gram. Might be 250. I can't remember the specs, but it's card basically. And the paper on the inside, I think, is 120 gram. It's high quality stuff. All the photography is mine, designed and laid out entirely here, right here at home in the Boyne Valley. So support, if you're in Ireland, support an Irish business, and if you're abroad, lots. Order a clatter of them, and you get a rake of Christmas presents all in the one. Now, before I forget, I have to go back through the comments, but I have to share the registration link for the Zoom. So the reason I want people to register is simple, because when we've done Zooms before, this is always the way we did it. When you share a Zoom meeting link on social media, and on my mailing list, and here, there is a danger that somebody who is not remotely interested in Live Irish Myths celebrations will gate crash the party, as it were, and perhaps say and do some silly things. So the reason we want people to register is just so that we know that you're genuine, basically. Yeah, it's not even about, we're not profiling people. It's just about, if you register, it shows that you have the proper intent. So if somebody would volunteer, I was going to ask Auntie Jo. Auntie Jo, I think, didn't you help me with a Zoom before? Just in terms of, because I'm the host, I'll need a co-host that can keep an eye on when people are coming in late. Open the red book and take the names down and tell them to stay back for detention afterwards. To admit people to the meeting after it has started. Joe, maybe you might let me know whether you can do that and whether you're willing to do it. And please don't feel that there's any pressure on you. There are others who can use Zoom. But let me know. Let me just quickly. Okay, well, I'll share the registration link first. So I'm calling it the Live Irish Myths 300th episode Samhain celebration. It will be held on the eve of astronomical Samhain. So it just seems like a totally apt time to do it, 8 p.m. Irish time, so the same time as we started tonight's live stream. So wherever you are in the world, just work out what time that will be for your time zone. Lynn Murphy says, Mr. Murphy, you should have those photographs in a gallery. Well, thank you very much, Lynn. Glad you like them. If Joe can't, I'm chucking my hat in the ring to co-host, says Christy. Well, thank you. See, I knew there'd be lots of volunteers and we'll have no problem. How to be added to Zoom, says John. So I've just shared the registration link. So you go and register. And then when you register, using the email address that you registered with, Zoom will send the link to the meeting. to that email address. Now, if you don't get it, check your spam just in case. And if needs be, if you don't get it after a couple of tries, email me directly. I hope I don't get flooded with emails now tomorrow because I've lots to do. But I'll just send you the direct link to the meeting then. Okay. Veronica Smith, I have no idea what that means. Planet Orange Purple Ring. I think you might need to explain that one to me. Sorry, I'm a bit slow. Samantha Healy is saying, hello, Anthony, Tim. Tim? I think you mean Tom. And all the two. Hello, Samantha. Welcome to the stream. That's beautiful photography. Thanks, Lynn. Teresina, great Christmas presents. Absolutely. I fondly remember getting to sing inside Newgrange. Wonderful acoustics. Yeah, many people have said that. A lot of people who've had that privilege and joy to be able to sing inside Newgrange, you know. How come Ireland can see the aurora, but you can't see it in England? No, you can. There was definitely sightings in the UK. The thing is, Lynn, you have to get out of towns and cities and away from bright streetlights. You have to get out into the countryside somewhere dark to really see it and enjoy it, you know. Desira, not sure. That's obviously not directed at me. That sounds dirty. You likely attract the wrong attention with that name. The Aurora, Celestial Splendor. I went to all three. Dark Doubt is a good one. I see a calendar on the horizon. Brilliant stuff, Michael. And it's Tuesday there already. So, and by the time we have our Zoom, it'll be Wednesday. Wow. Yeah. Rossio, yes, the chamber. I saw the video and photos about how the sunlight is casted inside. Yeah, it's really quite extraordinary, you know. I literally just got a friend request from Mythical Ireland. You might have a cyber clone. Well, they do say imitation is the greatest form of flattery, although I think that's part of a longer... is that the one that's part of a longer... Oscar Wilde quote that doesn't mean what you think it means. But anyway, never mind. Yeah, in this case, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But if you do get fake accounts asking you to be their friend, do report them, please. I absolutely swear that Fornox is larger inside than outside. Yeah, no, that's the one thing I say to all my tour participants. When we're on the outside, say, now wait for the big surprise when we go inside. And then when we go inside, the first thing I say is, well, what do you think? I say, it's so big. Yeah. And some people say, how do they fit something this size into something that size? It's mind-boggling. Desira, I've never heard of a hair hole. Rabbit holes and hair holes. All of these photos are spectacular. Thank you very much, Lexi. Glad you like them. And all the horses. Got to see all those Irish ponies. Yeah, we're a big horsey country. Brought in the Bronze Age. You have to feel the country and its ages-old history, says Silent Pilgrim. Well, remember, High Brazil had the giant rabbits, so I'm sure they have early art somewhere. I know for sure indigenous tribes in the USA made art with rabbits. You mean... Wait, I'm reading that a number of different ways. I'm picturing some people in a cave with rabbits beside them with paintbrushes in their paws. I'm also picturing that they're picking up the rabbit, dipping it in paint, and painting. Do you mean that they had rabbits featured in their pictographs? I'm sorry, Desiree, I just found that very funny. I like Doubt very much, says Rowan. What's not to like about it? It has a lovely, quiet, contemplative, reserved feel about it, you know. August, wow, what a fantastic image. Get yours now. I know, yours are on the way. Silent Pilgrim, I'm going to be touching everyone I see. Not sure what that's about. Okay, I'm just catching up on all of the comments. There are a lot, which is great. People are in good form. You take a drink, take a drink. You take a drink, I take a drink. Is this tomorrow night? I have a bottle of Tullamore due. I'm going to have a dram with you tomorrow night, definitely. I recently was watching the 2 videos you did about Samhain, and at that time the calendars were sold out. I learned a lot. Yeah, that's an older video. Don't worry, there's lots of them here. Order yours tonight, and we'll get it off to you in the post tomorrow. A lot of people talking about Outlander, so some rabbit hole conversations going on there. Yeah, I think I'm all caught up with that. So, just a reminder that in addition to the fact that I've just pasted it in here, if you're subscribed to the Mythical Ireland mailing list, and remember, it's free to be subscribed to the mailing list, it doesn't cost you anything. I am going to share the registration link there too, just in case. I'm conscious of the fact that some people just wouldn't be able to watch tonight and maybe miss. So I'm going to share the link to where you sign up for the mailing list. But sometime between now and then, definitely before then, I just have to figure out when. I'm going to write an email just about this 300th celebration and a tiny bit of the history of Live Irish Myths. And then I'm going to email the registration link as part of that to the mailing list. So if you're on the mailing list, you'll get the registration link anyway. But come here, feel free now that you have it to share it with others who are not here or friends or whatever, people who you think might be interested. I'm just going to share it again. So I've already shared the link to where you sign up for the newsletter on the email newsletter on the Mythical Ireland website. Now, just again, I'm sharing the registration link for tomorrow's 300th episode Samhain celebration. Zoom link on YouTube. Yeah, I'll have to paste it into the description of the YouTube version of this stream as soon as I'm finished, which I'll do after I put the bins out. Deal, I'll be drinking hot toddy with rum. Got flu and it's 6 a.m. our time tomorrow. You got flu? Oh dear. Get well soon. I once spent an hour or so petting a skittish Connemara grey yearling. He went from dodging away from my hand to butting his head against my chest and looking for treats. That's what happens. Did you bring him home? Couldn't get him into my suitcase. Anthony, you need to repost the Zoom check-in. Okay, well, I just did that. Have you seen that? Has everybody seen that? See, I have no way of knowing unless I actually go to my own YouTube channel right now, click on live, click on the live stream, at comments. Okay, let me just check that is working. Yes. So in order to register for the meeting, you have to put in your first name, your last name, and your email address. And just click register. It will then send the actual Zoom link to that email address that you enter when you register. So there's 2 parts to it. Yes, you need to register, but you also need to keep an eye on your email address so that you make sure that you receive the actual link to the Zoom. Cy B says, happy 300th, you old codger. Well, thank you. I mean, the compliments are flowing tonight. Many happy returns. It came through, says Barbara. Brilliant stuff. Excellent. Okay, so there is a Mythical Ireland. Look at this. Look at this chancer. Lexi Erickson, okay, send me friend request for your reading now because I really have some spiritual message for you now. Heart, heart, heart. And you absolutely know as soon as you read that, that's not Anthony. That's someone else. Anthony doesn't do that shit, you know? So that's the one I want you to report, folks. Actually, can I do that now on Mythical Ireland? Report that fake Mythical Ireland one that's sending comments on Facebook. Oh, look, there we go again. The same message. Maria Schmidt, okay, send me friend request for your reading now because I really have some spiritual message for you now. Heart, heart, heart. No, you don't. You're a scammer. Go away. We don't want you. You're not welcome here. Or as they say in Monty Python, I'm sorry, but piss off! And exactly like that. Piss off! Yes. In fact, I see their comments already hidden, so I suspect people have already reported. Thank you, Desiree. Veronica Smith says 300, and you don't look a day of it. Bilbo Baggins. Right, you haven't aged a day. Yes, extraordinary stuff. I wonder why. Have I got a magic ring that when I slip it on my finger, I just vanish? Yeah, says you. Some of you, when you hear the jokes, are saying, I wish you would bloody vanish. Yes, indeed. So anyway, that's it. Calendars and 300th celebration tomorrow on Zoom. The Enoch, that I will call it. Enoch. A beautiful coming together of people to celebrate. And of course, it's an Irish word because it was an Irish tradition. Not saying it's not the sort of thing that happened in other parts of the world, not at all. But in this case, it will be truly Irish because I'll be raising a dram to you all to thank you for your support and for being there throughout the past 300 episodes, the past 4.5 years, and indeed beyond, because of course, long before Live Irish Myths began at the beginning of the pandemic, or the outset of the pandemic, many of you had been following Mythical Ireland online for years anyway. I see the Zoom link in the Facebook comments. I registered. I will be on Zoom a few minutes before the hour, so Anthony can set up my co-host role and my crown too, I hope. Brilliant stuff, Joe. Thank you. Thank you. You're so good. So Joe will be the co-host tomorrow night. Joe, you'll be the bouncer. You'll be deciding whether people get in the door or not. You'll be taking a look up and down and going, oh, I don't like the look of you. You're not getting in. Ivania Lee is saying, Morena from New Zealand. Good morning to you, Ivania. We are just shortly going to wrap up. But if you joined and you haven't heard, tomorrow evening we're having a special Zoom celebration of the 300th episode of Live Irish Myths. Would be lovely to see you there. All you have to do is register at the link that I've shared in the comments. I'm going to share it again, just in case it was shared before you came on. So you have to register. You just enter your first name, last name, and email address. And then it will send the actual link to the Zoom meeting to the email address that you used to register. It's amazing. You're awesome. Ichawa Anish, Imorphos. Thank you, Ichawa, to Fame, Saoirse, August. I was going to say Arilat. That's not what I meant. Gonairi Odoherlat. And we'll see you tomorrow evening. All going well if you're able to make it. So looking forward to that. And look, as I say, a celebration. I'm particularly interested in hearing, especially the 2020 stories, how you stumbled upon Live Irish Myths and how being in the community helped you. I want as much as possible for it to be about you and not about me. We've heard enough about that, so definitely don't do that. Thank you, Joe. Yes, indeed. We made it. So all that, I suppose, has to be said at this stage is here's to 400 and maybe 500. We're still reading A Social History of Ancient Ireland. So there's tons. There is tons and tons and tons. There's easily another 200 episodes. So stick with it, as they say. Something good will come of it. Of course, it already has done. Michael Pike, I'm not sure. Did I say hello to you earlier on? Michael, thank you very much. You're only saying greetings now at the end of the episode. Red book time? No, because it's not one of those nights. Definitely not. We will not be taking names tonight. What we are doing is asking people to register for tomorrow night's special Zoom celebration. So first name, last name, email address. And when you register, Zoom will send you the link to the actual meeting. Tom will be a tad late. Tom, that's okay. Better late than never. And I completely understand because you'll have guests there. Make sure you bring your dram. That's the main thing. And we want to see you and we want to hear you Especially, I think a lot of people would love to hear you talking about how you stumbled upon it and the friendship that arose in particular between you and I. Anyway, from my small participation, seeing Tom King's Metamorphosis has been amazing, and the Tua is best. Yes, I tell you, so many good stories to tell, which is brilliant. Such a privilege to have been at the hub of that, as it were. Oh, I have an idea for an episode. How about one on Grace O'Malley and other Irish pirates? Brilliant idea. And I have a couple of books about Grace O'Malley here. So yes. So once more, before we go, register for tomorrow evening Zoom link, same time, 8 p.m. Irish time. I think that's 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon Pacific. And later, if you're in Europe, of course, we're going to have a Zoom celebration where, for once, instead of you all looking at me and listening to me and me just seeing your comments, we'll all be able to see each other. And Joe will be a moderator. And I think what we'll do early on is mute everyone, because it just descends into chaos if you don't do it that way. And anyone who wants to say something can just either put their hand up or send Joe a message to say, yeah, I'd like to, and then we'll give you all a chance to say something. And then I think at the end, in the Zooms that we've done before, at the end, we just open mic, as it were, and everyone gets to say hello. And I hope that doesn't feel too sort of regulated or controlled. That's not what this is about. It's just about making sure it doesn't descend into an audible nightmare where you've got 20 people talking at the same time and nobody can hear anything. 2 o'clock Texas time, Elaine points out. Most importantly, because we have, as I said, a huge gathering of Texans and Coloradoans. I still don't know what the correct terminology is there. 1 p.m. Colorado time. Thank you, Desiree. Yes, indeed. So we'll see you all tomorrow evening, tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow morning, tomorrow night, whatever it happens to be. In the case of Michael Trott and Ivania Lee and the other lady in Tasmania, it'll be Wednesday morning. So looking forward to it. Can't wait. And here's to all of you. Tomorrow night we'll raise the dram officially. But now we've had it. Okay, we didn't do a myth reading tonight, but this is essentially the 300th episode. I had said over recent weeks that I wasn't going to do an actual episode, that we'd do a Zoom instead, but it didn't feel right not to have an episode. It felt that we should do something to have an actual live episode. So now that we've had it, let's go and celebrate tomorrow night. Crack open the Tullamore Dew or the Redbreast 12 or the Powers or whatever it is you're having yourself, No, it will not be on YouTube tomorrow, Lynn. It's only on Zoom. So just to explain, because a few people said, I don't know how to Zoom. Zoom is free software or a free app for your phone or a free program for your computer that you download. And it basically enables you to connect to these Zoom meetings. It's basically a sort of an electronic or a digital hosting platform. If you've got a webcam and a microphone, most laptops have them. Home computers, PCs, not so much. If you have a webcam and a microphone, just make sure to test them with your Zoom program, which you can do before you join the meeting. That's if you want to be seen. You don't have to have a webcam to join the meeting. But it's nice if you had a camera, a microphone, so that you can join in the conversation, as it were. Now, I will be recording it. I have to say that much. I will be recording the Zoom Enoch, the Zoom 300th celebration, and I will upload that to YouTube afterwards. Absolutely, but live it will only be on Zoom. Rossi, I'm going to bring my wine to celebrate. Brilliant stuff. I'm practicing raising a dram, so I'll be sure to get it right. What do you mean you haven't got enough practice before, Janet? Is that what you're saying? Really? Cannot wait. Wow, brilliant stuff. Anna L is joining us. I'm a bit late. Oh, how do I get the link again? Okay, one more time. Anna L, I'm just going to send you the registration link. So register, first name, last name, email address. Zoom will send the link to the meeting to the email address that you use when you're registering. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night. And Anna L, we were talking earlier on, I was mentioning about during the pandemic, nobody knew what was going to happen. And then over the last couple of years in particular, I have met so many of you in person. Sue Prenter, I met at Fornox. Anna L, I met at Fornox. Let me just quickly scroll. Elaine Dent Lingenfelter, I met at Tom's Forge. Nora Gaffney O'Connor, I met at the Hill of Tara, and I think I met at Ishnock. Let me just very quickly, Desiree, haven't had the pleasure yet, but that'll come. Michael Trott, I didn't get the chance to, unfortunately. Michael Pike met in Drogheda and the Boyne Valley last November, this time last year, I think it was. And so on and so forth. So many of you that I've had the pleasure of actually meeting in person over the last couple of years. What a joy and an honor and a privilege that has been. Anyway, I'm going to go because I have to put the bins out. And yeah, let's celebrate. Yes, usual time, Mark. So 8 p.m. Irish time, Central. I'm not sure. It's, what did they say? 2 p.m. Mexico. Sorry, 2 p.m. Mexico. Yes, 2 p.m. Texas, 1 p.m. Colorado. I'm not sure if that helps, Mark. But yeah, basically the same time as we started tonight, which is 8 p.m. Irish time. So whatever time this stream started with you tonight, same time tomorrow night. Anyway, we'll see you all then. In the meantime, thank you for joining us on the 300th episode of Live Irish Myths. Wow. Over 4.5 years, 4 years and 8 months actually of live streaming. And Joe was saying, yeah, you can use your phone, download the Zoom app, and some of you might find it handier, especially if you have to go setting up webcams and stuff. Actually, probably better off just downloading it on your phone and joining that way. So click on the link that Zoom sends you on the email program, the email app, should I say, on your phone to launch the Zoom app on your phone. That would be handier. Yeah, thank you for that, Joe. I wasn't even thinking. Now I feel old. Haven't aged a day, Bilbo Baggins. Right, we'll see you all tomorrow evening. In the meantime, all that remains for me to say is Ichawa Kolosov, Slong Gafol, August Tog Gaboge. Take it easy.